There's a kind of work no one applauds. No data, no splits, no proof. It doesn't show up on your watch. You can't post it. You can't point to it and say, see, I'm getting better. It's the work of restraint, of stopping when your body says enough, but your ego says just a little more. It's choosing not to force clarity, not to test yourself again to feel safe. And the hardest part, this kind of work feels invisible, even to the person doing it. But this is the work that protects the long game. This is the work that builds trust. Well, hello there and welcome. My name is Bobby, for those of you that are new here, and this is officially the first time I'm going on camera to record this episode. I've got my little script below. This is exciting. I can't believe I'm actually going to be coming face-to-face this time. This will also be in podcast format, but I just started a new YouTube channel, and so these will be posted live now, as well as there will be a new little space there, a new little show I'm kind of developing through just the weekly recap of just kind of my everyday ups and downs through the training that I'm doing. You know, I'm just trying to let everybody know that, hey, I'm nobody special. You know, I just want to let you all know that, hey, it just takes a lot of green days to, you know, be consistent. And you're going to have red days, you're going to have maybe yellow days. But the point being is just showing up and staying consistent. You know, this is a space where quiet growth happens. You know, the part no one claps for. I have my little script. So I welcome you. Come on in, take a seat. You know, if you want to follow along on Instagram, you can. The handle is stillbecoming26 or at stillbecoming26. And you can also, there you'll find my reels and, you know, updates and posts for training, the results that I post. You know, I would love to be someone that goes out there and carries a camera around with me, but you know, I'm not here to focus in and point to my life every second of the day. No, I just want to prove to you that you don't need to be the center of attention. And with this whole show, it's not me being the center of attention. I don't want you to take it that way. I just want you to understand that I'm out there just like you. I work as a massage therapist, and some of you may not think that's difficult. If you don't, you know, I get it. It's not delivering packages, which I've done before in my life. But you know, it still takes a lot of work. My lower back hurts, you know, my body goes through beatings, you know, and I'm just trying to let you know that I love working out. I love running. And that's really what I'm just trying to show you. There isn't going to be days where I feel the best. Today's Saturday, and this morning after my Fast Friday, I went out there and my body just felt tired this morning. And it's real achy in my pelvic bowl, like my hips. My lower back was tight. But you know what? I still went and did it. And that's the part of it. You know, even rest. I know Monday will come along here and I'll post a little reel on my page. And that's just, it's about the rest, you know, as well as it is much, you know, working out and checking those days off and eating. I'm not the best with it. I'm not going to post anything nutritional wise on it, but I'm just here to let you know, like, hey, I'm just a regular old person just trying to follow his passion. Whatever your passion is, I want you to follow it too. So if you want to be a part of the show, like I've always been extending that branch out to, email me at stillbecoming26@gmail.com. Send a couple pictures and I will post you on Instagram and blow you up. And if you don't want to, but you just want to reach out to the show, comment. You know, comment on wherever you're getting this podcast. You can go to my profile on Instagram and you can just simply click the links in the profile wherever you decide to follow it. Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and now YouTube Music. And so I extend this olive branch to you. This isn't about me. This is just about showing you what it takes to just keep going, you know, and, you know, that's what this is about. You know, today's episode today is the invisible work, you know, the work of patience, the work of pulling back when everything in you wants to push. Because sometimes the most important thing you can do for your future self is resist the urge to, you know, prove where you are right now. You know, it was so hard for me this last week, getting sick at the end of it, at the beginning of it, and feeling like I got a marathon in like 25 days. And, I'm trying not to panic. I'm just trying to tell myself, all right, we've got enough green boxes than we do red. Yeah, we had a couple of red days pop right one after another, but my brain was telling me, no, this is going to be terrible. I'm just telling myself, relax. All right, relax. It's just a couple days. Just assess each day, and that's it. And what the invisible work is. When I say invisible work, I'm not talking about discipline in the way we usually think about it. I'm not talking about grinding harder, pushing through, or proving how tough you are. I think a lot of us want to pick up weights and be ah! And really just hone in on that idea of like, I'm Arnold, or I'm, so tough I can take a beating and get back up. But no, that's not it. The invisible work is all the stuff that doesn't register as effort, because it often looks like you're not doing anything, It's the rest without guilt. It's the restraint without reassurance. It's listening to your body, even when your mind is desperately searching for clarity, just like I spent the time doing that, laying on my bed on Friday a week ago and going, I know this is the right decision to stay and sleep. And my body aches, I'm feeling chilly and sweaty. Like, it's the best thing to do. Even when I didn't started feeling better on Saturday, last Saturday, it was just that, like, this is the best thing you can do. You're trying to stop the bleeding and, hope that you bank time there. So, it's shortening the run instead of forcing the miles. It's skipping the test day you didn't actually need. It's choosing recovery when part of you feels like you haven't earned it. And what makes it so difficult, what makes this work so difficult is that there's no immediate feedback. You don't get a dopamine hit for taking a nap. I would love that, right? I know a lot of you would love that. You don't get proof. You just have trust. You get this blind fall that this choice is building something you can't see. It's there. In 20 some days, February 22nd. I guess we'll see. That's sort of blind trust. You built all this, put all your eggs in that basket. For those of you that might be, auditioning for dance, you built this up and time to go on stage, or maybe you're getting ready for a play, your local city, and you're like, I think I did enough, but, my personal perspective on this, and I've been kind of throwing that in there from time to time, and I want to be clear about something. This isn't coming from inexperience. I know what it's like to be on the other side. I lived there. I pushed through. I forced days I didn't need to force. Didn't need to be forced. I've been there more times than I can count. And eventually I made a different choice this time. I decided to give the invisible work a real chance, not a backup plan. I decided to just say, let's just rest. I think it's the right thing to do, not because I ran out of options, but because I wanted to see what would happen if I stopped treating restraint like weakness. And I'll be honest, it was uncomfortable going to sleep thinking, this is so great, I can just sleep. No, it felt unearned. It felt soft, honestly. And it worked, not overnight, not in a way I could point to immediately and be like, see, that worked. It worked steadily. It worked in ways I didn't need defining. And I'm proud to say out loud, it's kind of silly. I don't know why I did that. Choosing patience didn't make me weak. It made me durable. I would have to say my workout yesterday, I get it was just leg turnover. First time I was doing it. But I would say the results, the power I had there, just waiting was amazing. I really felt like, yeah, it paid off, and, why now I decided to choose that and not just, to ground this to real life. This idea came back into focus for me recently because I was forced into a decision. I could have pushed, and again, this goes back to me being sick, I could have tested myself just to feel normal again. Instead, I shut it down. Not dramatically, not perfectly. I chose grounded, and that choice reinforced something I already knew, but I needed to trust again. The invisible work works, only when you're willing to let it count before it proves itself. And I want to give you, listener, something to resonate with. And there's a good chance you're standing at a similar edge. If you aren't, it's going to be coming. Maybe you're not injured, maybe you're not sick, but you're tired. You've been grinding, or uncertain, or quietly negotiating with yourself about how hard you should push right now. This episode isn't telling you to do less. It's asking you to listen more closely. So here's the challenge I want to leave with you for this week. For the next 7 days, choose one moment of intentional restraint. One moment where you do nothing, even if it feels unearned. Shorten a run, take a rest day, delay the decision, stop before you feel finished. And when you do it, don't explain it, just notice how hard it is. And let that choice count without proof. Let's recap this. Today wasn't about motivation. It was about trust. About recognizing that some of the most important work you'll ever do won't show up on screen. It will show up later. And how steady you feel, how durable you become, and how often you stop breaking yourself. Trying to prove you're ready. And in closing, you don't need to force clarity this week. You don't need to test yourself just to feel okay. Let the work count. Let the invisible work count. Remember, you're still becoming. And most importantly, remember, you are the only one stopping you. See you next week.